I want to paint now a subject which is somehow might be related to the Divine Comedy of Dante, and maybe not directly, but I have an idea that that could be a kind of allegory of the one of the circles of hell, where the sinners are just getting their punishment. So probably those kind of materialistic people who are completely into their I don't know, attention on beauty or clothes or some material facilities or whatever, they just getting a punishment of being in statues or this kind of mannequins, and they're staying in the shop windows, absorbing what's just absorbing the real life passing by, and they cannot influence. They just kind of behind the glass, and it's kind of allegory. I thought that that could be an interesting idea. I'm going to paint on wet and wet. I already applied the masking, and I applied already the drawing, and here I got masking fluid in those places where I'm going to have kind of highlights. You see these little drops. I used this masking. It's quite liquid. You can use any liquid masking. And also I made a line, all kind of things which you can see in shop windows, just reflecting. So I used for the line, I could use drawing gum pencil. And what else? Yeah, that's it. So now I'm going to turn it round and wet it from the back side. So I will take probably a bigger brush. No, this is quite alright. Okay, I will use this one. So now just do the background with plain water. The paper should be soaking wet, and the board which is under the paper is waterproof. It should be waterproof because all the water should stay in the sheet of paper. It shouldn't be absorbed by the board. So now it's just the back side. And I'm just doing this kind of movement both ways. Crossways, because the paper should be soaked wet completely. Now I can turn it around and wet it from the other side. So this is quite a routine work, but it's very important that your paper is really wet from inside. It shouldn't have all these waves. It should be quite flat. When it is ready, it will be flat. So I'm turning it around. If it has waves, that means it's not ready yet. Now I can turn it around the last time, I think, and now I want to press it from one side like this, so that there are no bubbles of air between the paper and the board. So it has to be all flat, pressed nicely. Now it's flat, you see? No waves, nothing like this. So just flat on a board. What is next? I need some paper towels or napkins to dry it. That means dry only the surface, not drying the inside, because inside the water is there anyway. So you see, I want to have some soft and hard edges here. To make hard edges, I need it to be dry. So I will just dry the figures. And those places where I'm going to have some hard edges. The highlights are already reserved, so they will be sharp anyway. But the figures, they can be a little bit prepared. So now it's okay. What I'm doing next is I'm going to wet around the figures again, because I want the background to be quite soft and flowing. So alright, so I am again drying or wetting all around the figures. Oh, there also probably has to be something sharp, so I will do it only there. Okay, and I will take a smaller brush for those details. For details, and everything around the figures should be soft and flowing, and mainly background. And also there, leaving the highlights. Okay, that part also could be a little bit wet. maybe also there a little bit around the prices and the corners as well. So here, and around the head is sharp, and the background is soft. And also here. Like this. Maybe there also background behind the legs. And there maybe could be a bit softer. This part is on the light, maybe I can do it sharper. And also there. Okay. Now I'm going to use only 2-3 colors, mainly neutral tint. It's here, and it's quite cool with a little bit influence of blue and violet, and a little bit of probably I can use a little bit of lavender, and maybe a little bit of raw sienna. I think that will do. So I will take first I will take a little bit of sienna, just for some influence in the background. Just a little bit, just a touch of it. Here it shouldn't go into the leg. Yeah, and maybe a little bit there. So we'll go only maybe this way. And that part will be in cool, so the rest will be cool. I will take now this nice lavender and add to the background. Just quite nice. Here I a little bit lost the drawing, sorry. I will take a smaller brush then. And there too. Okay. I think that's it. And next will come the darker color. And that's going to be, I will use probably a smaller brush and a sharp pointed brush, and also a cat tongue brush. So I'm taking now neutral tint, and just doing, maybe I can do here a little bit mixing with this blue. Maybe I can add even a little bit of ultramarine, and I will take a smaller brush because that is an area where I need a little bit more details. So just like this. Like this, and maybe the darker there, and also maybe here. I can use this kind of stick to make a support for my hand. And there I could take a little bit darker. This, and there I think it could be darker from that side. Okay. And from that side. Some details should be done properly, and the rest could be flowing. And there I think I also can do like this. And darker. this. So now I have to do that corner, and that corner will be already done. That is a darker corner. Just pure neutral tint, maybe a little bit of ultramarine. Like this. All right. Don't need it here. And now I'm coming this way. I want to make now all this beautiful fluent background. So that's the background. And it could be just black. Here we found a leg and the clothes. And that part is also quite straight, could be darker. And that one also goes darker. That part I can do now. And again, probably I need here a little bit of details, not so flowing, not so much. So just use a different brush. This. Okay. And now darker. I can take now maybe some pure ultramarine in some parts. Here maybe a few lines of ultramarine. For more interesting textures. Why not there? And now let's do something about that part, which is also the shadow. Here I don't need ultramarine, I think I need more neutral tint there. Maybe smaller brush. And here a little bit darker, maybe not, just behind that, and there could make a little bit lighter, like this. A little bit lighter. And then darker again. Okay, and there also. Can do it darker. And softer, a little bit softer. And then here I can do it a little bit darker. There. Okay, and there. This. Okay, that is a little bit done. It's okay. Let it be like this. Some labels, this and that, and now maybe I can do something about the heads. There it's not good that it went into the white. It shouldn't go to the white. And there also. Now I can correct a little bit. here. Correction. And for the tone of the mannequin, I will use a little bit of sienna, which is there, and neutral tint. So it's kind of light gray. So I will make it like this, just the shadow. Where the light turns to shadow. Like this. Now a little bit darker on the border and less water. A little bit darker and less water on the brush here and here. And now just wet brush, pure water, and softening the border. And also here. What I'm going to do with this one is just the same, exactly the same. I'm mixing this kind of neutral blend, and that will be the blend for the shadow there. So also that part there. And there's something darker, so I am mixing a darker blend with less water, and I will put it there. And also there, also where we have darker shadow. And now I'm taking just a wet brush to soften. And also there. Let me also soften that part a little bit. Now I have to correct it a little bit. Just darker accent of the shadow there and there. And I also have to give a hint of some shadow there. Now I will do also this one. Okay, the darker one. And also there, also shadow. And darker one. A little bit darker one. So they are kind of, their faces are taken away because they have no personality. It's kind of fashion victims. Like this. So, what's next? I think we can do a little bit of the legs with the same blend. Can be same blend. Softer. They could appear a little bit on the light. They also could be softer. That's all in shadow. Like this. And that part could be a little bit lighter. Maybe these legs also could be. Now we can find solution for those ones. And that one also more in shadow. And also there in shadow. And that one actually on the light, more or less. Just finding that cube. And there could be the softer. And there I could put it together with the background a little bit. Not so much, not so detailed there. Alright, let's do now maybe the dresses. Yeah, I will take this also, this brush. And just pure neutral tint. So now I'm doing that darker color, which really makes the right contrast. And I paint all through the outlines and through the these highlights, which are already reserved, so it doesn't matter. I have all the highlights there. Okay. Here also, this black dress. We can do that black dress nicely. And it shouldn't flow because that part is dry. So now we can take not much water on the brush for this. So we're controlling always the amount of water. And here we also need to find the hand. Here is hand, and that is not flowing, and the rest is flowing. Okay. And there could go together with the other arm because it's also black, so it will be kind of joint, darker spot. So let's do that. That dress and another dress, and all together somehow. And that one also. It shouldn't flow too far away. But like this. Now it goes down here. Here. Something hanging there. And have to find that hand, where exactly it is. So here it's quite, at the moment it's quite sharp. Okay. like this. And if it goes together with the background, it's good here, because we have different highlights and different places where it has to maybe to have more definition, not here. This. I think we lost a little bit the background in that part, so I can do something about that now. I can use again this little stick just for holding my hand. So now it's already the good connection with the background, and what I can do there is also a little bit softening the hands, because they're in the shadow, they shouldn't be so sharp. So let me put it in the shadow. And maybe some softening somewhere. Yeah, also here. And some softening. That hand is also in the shadow, more or less, so I can do it also like this. All right. Let's do now maybe this one, but I don't know. I don't need that one. Perhaps I can also remove the belt. I don't want it. And maybe while it is still wet, I can do some textures, like something hanging there, like this. And maybe a bag. Now let's do something about this one. So black, that is black inside there. It's already getting quite dry. There also. We need to put it dark in there. And here inside, so very dark. But cat tongue allows me to make bigger washes and at the same time some nice details. And what about here? Yeah. And here. Like this. Let me do also that one, and the dark one under the hands. And this. And there are also some details. I have to find a few fingers. Like this, and maybe this part now. I need some shadows. Also there. And maybe a little bit there. And now the rest of the clothes of this model here. So the trousers, and those trousers. So it's quite dark. Here is a knee and trousers and the clothes. Almost joining the background. Also here could be joined together like this, and there also could be softer. And here as well, it's a little bit softer and lighter. The brush is not very wet, it's quite dry, but enough, wet enough. And here I need a shadow from this. And here also the shadow. Right. And now a little bit more about that close. I need again this stick to find that, to define it a little bit. Where's the neck and everything else, like this. Okay. Now some details. I have to do now maybe the hands, a little bit details of the hands. Like this. And here also some shadows. And here. Maybe also the legs. I can do some shadows. And the shoes. Like this. All right. So, just a few more things I have to do here now. What about this place? Maybe it could be a little bit more textured. I will take a special brush and do texture. Dry brush and texture. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Just texture in some decorative object. Okay. And maybe some could be a cube here. And also maybe here could be a hint of something. Shadow, some more shadow. Also there's some shadow. I think I forgot about the shoes of those models. So maybe I can do it now. And this one. So it's quite classical. I don't know, we're doing, I don't know what kind of model should be, maybe up to date, doesn't matter. Right, and now just maybe a few more accents here and there, and that's it. That one could be also a little bit warmer, why not? I will mix it with some sienna. Okay. And there could be something, I don't know what. Guess what it is. Maybe some dirt from the street. Alright. Alright. So I got now this titanium white, and I will mix a little bit of this, and I mix also some neutral tint, and sienna, something like this. So it's kind of gray. I can also add this. Okay, that's the color. Quite opaque. And now I can put it there, like some brands. Have no idea what is brand. Let it be some letter. And there may be some other letters. Some not existing brands. Also here. Maybe even existing. some brands, and maybe I can also give an idea of sale of something like this. But let it be a strange sale. 0% sale. Alright, so the last thing I have to do here is to remove masking fluid, because at the moment it's not the final picture. I have to do some drying before taking away the mask. Okay. I will try to use a hairdryer. Now I have to remove the mask. If it is dry enough, oh, it's not dry enough. You see, it's removing something else. Actually, it should be just pure white, but it's not dry enough. This kind of marks indicating that there's no way out from there, that these figures, these persons as the mannequins are stuck there forever. Oh, my skin. So okay, that actually I have just to remove this mask and then it will be finished.